Welcome into another edition of Just a Minute with Austin Hannon. I'm Katie Wyndham. And Austin, it has been a busy week of Alabama baseball news. The season ended Sunday. New head coach Rob Vaughn's hired Monday. We have the introductory press conference Tuesday. You have a one-on-one with him on Wednesday, and everyone should go check that out on Bama Central. And then we started getting some portal news, big portal news Wednesday night. Some other guys already entered, but Colby Shelton is the biggest name that entered, led the team in home runs as a freshman, set an Alabama record, I believe, in freshman home runs, but he's in the portal. So what does this mean for Alabama baseball, and kind of what's the impact of this decision in the immediate and for the outlook of next year's team?
Yeah, it's a huge loss, Katie. I mean, you mentioned it, the 25 home runs. That's a freshman record for a season, obviously. And he was just so impressive. I mean, it hits almost 300, hits 25 home runs. I mean, that's almost unheard of, especially for a kid that is playing in his first year in the SEC. But it's the reality, right? I mean, this is what we're kind of getting used to. And Colby Shelton committed to play for Brad Bohannon, and now that he's gone and the options are opening and he's done what he did this year, the money starts coming in. The people are going to start getting in his ear saying, "Hey, we can do this for you. Here's what our package looks like." And I'm sure the programs like Florida, like Arkansas, like LSU can do a lot more for him in terms of financially for his baseball career right now than Alabama can. And not to mention the coaching change, and there's just a lot going on. And he's not really an in-state kid that it's been his. There's a lot of players on this team that's their dream to play for Alabama, but Colby Shelton's a kid from Florida. I'm sure he has a very good relationship with Kevin O'Sullivan over there, who's in the midst of a national championship run right now in Omaha. And, wouldn't shock me if that's the place he goes. But it's really tough for this program, because this is a guy that, because he's a freshman and he did what he did, this was kind of going to be the cornerstone for the program moving forward. And after a 25 home run year, you do that two more times, and he's by far and away the home run leader all time for this program. So it's that big of a transfer. I mean, this is no doubt a guy that you could see being one of the better players in the history of Alabama baseball. And now that he's gone, they're going to have to kind of regroup, and for the second year in a row, find a new third baseman. Obviously, Zane Denton left the year ago, and then Colby Shelton comes in to replace him, is great, and now he's gone. So it's going to be a new look team. Obviously, we've talked about it. There's a tracker on BamaCentral.com that we're not thinking Jim Jarvis is coming back. I tweeted out last night that Pinckney, Grayson Hitt, and Hunter Furtado even are all in the draft combine for now. And so it's going to be tough for Rob Vaughn to kind of flip this thing around. Obviously, there's a ton of talented guys that didn't really get a chance to see the field this year that Bohannon and Jackson recruited. But how will they kind of enter the transfer portal, and how is Vaughn going to attack the transfer portal? I asked him yesterday if he had any intentions of going to get some of those guys from Maryland, and he kind of told me no. He said he didn't really want to steal all the guys away from the new head coach over there, who was his assistant, and he wanted what's best for that program. But it wouldn't be surprising at all to me if maybe one or two guys from that successful Terrapins team this year did decide to come here. And otherwise, it's gonna be a big building job. But I think he understands that, and that's why he's here.
There's just a lot of natural roster turnover in baseball every year anyway. And you said, and it said in the interview, especially with the coaching change, there's going to be that. But even, if Brad Bohannon had stayed this whole time and all this craziness hadn't happened at the end of the year with the way Shelton performed this season, there's a good chance he would have transferred anyway. And that's just the way college baseball and college sports are now. And it's not cheating. It's just the way things are with NIL. And Alabama is not, in baseball, at least, is not going to be super competitive with NIL yet. Maybe a little more in football, basketball, but not yet in baseball. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. And I'm sure he doesn't want to go decimate the Maryland program, but I'm sure there's some of those guys that want to come play for him and have the opportunity to play in the SEC if he has roster spots for them, which I think he will. But Bama Central will keep you posted on all the latest Alabama baseball news, all the transfer news, all that stuff. And that'll wrap up today's Just a Minute. Thank you so much for watching.